what's up? I'm Zoe. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be going through every single book that I've read so far this year in ranking order. I just thought that this would be kind of interesting. I will try and give like really quick summaries or thoughts on some of the books that I've read, because I have this habit this year of really just going on Libby, which is an app that lets you sync up to your local library. And so you can get books and audiobooks, and like the library system, you wait your turn and then they give it to you when it's your turn. And yeah, so I've been going on Libby a lot this year and just going, what is available now? And picking from that and pretty much just reading whatever. So my reading has been very random this year. It has not been very directed towards things that I actually want to read. I've just been very randomly picking things. So yes, my reading experience this year is kind of my fault, but you know what? We're here, we're gonna take it in stride. First up, we have the DNFs. Now, I only have 2 DNFs for this, which I'm really shocked by because I thought I DNF'd a lot more books than this. The first DNF that I have is Twisted Love. The main thing that made me DNF this book was the fact that I just did not like this particular trope, obsessed lover. It is not my thing. It makes me very angry. I do not like, especially I think when the guy is the obsessed lover, I just do not like that. A little bit possessive I like, but obsessive? Yeah, you lost me. The other book that I DNF'd this year, Kingdom of the Cursed. This one actually was really disappointing, but lucky for you, I have a whole video that I did and I explained it a lot better in that video, which you can go and watch. I will try and remember to link it. Now we have our 1-star reads. How We Fell Apart, The Hunting Party, Baby Mine. So these 3 books all were just very bleh to me. How We Fall Apart, I just could not connect to the story. I feel like a book like that I would have appreciated multiple point of views. I also just didn't really care for our main protagonist. The Hunting Party kind of left the same feeling for me. There was no impact. I didn't care what was happening to this group of people. I didn't feel like the story was really bringing anything new to the table that I already hadn't heard from multiple other books that kind of have this same trope. Baby Mine, I'm pretty sure this was about like someone, best friend, pregnant, girlfriend, get together. I did not like, once again, how oddly obsessed with the female lead the man was. Like, it just didn't make sense to me. They met and hardly talked for more than 5 minutes and he was obsessed. Like, everything in his world revolved around this girl, even though she was dating his best friend, and I wasn't into it. Now we have our 2-star reads. American Royalty, A May Bride, Mexican Gothic, Into the Magic Shop, Never Fall for Your Fiance, and All the Way. All the Way is, as it says, a dad's best friend. I was just curious. Never Fall for Your Fiance is a arc that I have had since last year that I've been trying to get through. It's a historical romance fiction, and it's about this guy who he like lied to his mom about having a fiance, and he has to find someone who has the same name as the girl he made up. And I'm pretty sure it was like Minerva or something. It was just like this very unique name, and he happened to find a girl, and then they had to like lie, and then families were involved and things like that. But I just could not get through it. I thought that there were just too many words in this story, and one thing about me, I do not like when a story has too many words. Into the Magic Shop is actually a book that I started for BTS. I mean, I technically did DNF this, let's be real, but I did find it interesting, but I skipped around in this book and I just decided to finally let myself go. I'm not gonna read it in detail. I am not that type of reader. If I had to read it for school, maybe I would have read it in detail, but for this, I couldn't do it. Mexican Gothic, okay, this one was definitely a disappointment. I wish that Mexican Gothic gave me everything, but but I did not care for it. About this girl, she was going to visit her cousin who had been acting strange. I think she sent her a letter or something, like, come get me, and she's like, something weird is going on in this house. I was just so bored. It's not even a long book, which makes it even more disappointing that I wasn't able to get through it. American Royalty, okay, now this one was a real big disappointment because if you know, this was one of my most anticipated reads of 2022, and I am so sad that I did not end up loving this. I wanted there to be a little bit more of a developed connection between the two, and it just kind of felt more like lust at first sight, and I just didn't understand or believe the commitment that they had to each other. But it had so much potential, and I see a lot of people like it, so, you know, great, but it's just, oh. 3-star reads. I have a lot of 3-star reads. Okay, so we have You'll Be the Death of Me, My Hero Academia Volume 1, Stranger Things, Zombie Boys, The Governess Game, Milk and Honey, The Midnight Library, A Winter's Promise, Let Me Love You, Zombie Cherry Volume 1, and Bad Luck Bridesmaid. Let's get the 2 mangas out of the way. So both of these mangas I just checked out because I saw them, they were free, and I said, why not? I do like to check out first volumes of manga because you never know, you might want to continue with the series and you won't know unless you start. We have Bad Luck Bridesmaid. This was an arc that I got at the beginning of the year, and oh boy, I was really into this story. Always a bridesmaid, never a bride. She just felt like she was just bad luck. Every single time she's in a wedding, something ends up going wrong and the couple never gets married. The thing that made this so to me was just the ending of it. I felt like the author really had us go through the story with her. By the end of it, we're just kind of like left in the last 3 or 4 chapters with very abrupt decisions, and then it's like, okay, we're done and we're switching on to this new thing. Feelings were like riding, and then it's like boom. And it's like, wait, what just happened? Winter's Promise. I have had this on my TBR for a very long time. I feel like the more I read, like every single chapter just went down, down, down. It was like, oh, she's not like other girls. She's like not caring about makeup. She doesn't care to have new clothes. She doesn't care if she has holes in her shoes. Like, you know, when she's put in this arranged marriage. How does your personality totally change once you're in an arranged marriage? Like, come on now. That just, no. Now you want to explore. Now you want to leave the house. Before they couldn't even pay you enough to leave your job or the house. The Midnight Library, I feel like this story has been talked about many, many times. It's a self-help book with plot. There you go. Stranger Things, Zombie Boys. I really only read this because I was going through Stranger Things withdrawals after binge watching the whole first half of the season in like one night. It's supposed to take place between season 1 and season 2, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, very interesting. You'll Be the Death of Me. This one I thought I was going to love because I love Mia Karen McManus story, but I did not love this. It just kind of felt a little too similar to the other stories that she has put out, and I know it is her niche, but I feel like maybe she should look to other storylines and plots and personalities to give her characters, because I feel like they're starting to feel very repetitive. 4-star reads: Fair Love, Imaginary Borders, Demon Slayer Volume 3, Blended, Sweat and Soap Volumes 7, 6, and 9, The Rebound, Through the Woods, The Chase, The Tea Dragon Society, Spy Family Volume 7, and The Inheritance Game. Imaginary Borders was like this essay, and I just listened to the audiobook for this. It was really great. Touched on climate change and immigration and all that stuff. Really great. Blended. Now this story was, wow. This is one of those situations where I definitely was not prepared for all of the topics that this book covered. Biracial girl who is trying to find herself in the fact that both of her parents are not only divorced, but her dad is black, her mom is white, and she's just trying to figure out who she is and all that stuff at 11 years old. But there are so many topics in this book, from just colorism to racism, police brutality at the end. Like, it was just a ride. But from the cover, I did not know that that was gonna happen at all. I really need to start looking into books and seeing what the trigger warnings are, because Yes, Rebound. Now this one was actually really great. I got an arc for this. She gets laid off from her job and her fiance also decides that he doesn't want to marry her anymore. And so she goes home to Ireland where she is going to stay with her sister, and she also runs into her childhood best friend who is now really hot, and yeah, chaos ensues. So he is the rebound and it just ends up really working out for her. The Tea Dragon Society, this is another book that I've heard so much about over the years, especially if you were on booktube. I loved it. I thought the art style was great, the message was great, but it just didn't, I guess, wow me in the way, and I guess it's just something that happens whenever a story is just super hyped. The Inheritance Games. Okay, so this one was my first read of the year. I really thought if I start off strong, the rest of the year will be amazing. This man, he passes away and it kind of becomes a whole thing about his inheritance and who is going to inherit his fortune and his house, and his multiple children and grandchildren are all kind of assuming that they are going to be the heirs, and then it ends up being someone totally unexpected, and that is where the Inheritance Games kind of comes into play. And he loved riddles and having secret compartments and like all that type of stuff, and there's so many secrets in this family, and I thought it was really interesting. I haven't read the second book yet, but I am definitely interested in doing so in the future. I just have not gotten there yet. 5-star reads. We have Inheritance, It Ends With Us, Me, Moth, The Wedding Season, Wash Day Diaries, Sweat and Soap Volume 8, Will, and Heartstopper Volume 4. Not gonna lie to you, that's not the best 5-star reads list that I've ever had. Wash Day Diaries, this was an arc that I got. I don't know if this is out yet, but is a 4-part graphic novel that tells you 4 short stories about this group of friends and just how their hair is a big part of them, and just like kind of a backstory in their stories about their weeks and their days and like all that. And I just loved it. I loved the friendship. I loved the art style. It was just really good. Me, Moth is also a poetry story, but it also deals with a lot of the lore for natives, and I thought this was really interesting. I thought the story was really good. I was not expecting a lot of things to happen, but it was really good. It was a fast read and I really appreciate it. The cover was also just really cool, and that's mainly what made me pick it up. The Wedding Season. So this is an arc that I got this year, and I really enjoyed reading this book because it was unexpected and really good. I read a lot of wedding stories, I realize also, but I really like this one. She gets kind of sort of left at the altar, like literally the day before her wedding. Her fiance is like, yeah, no, I can't do this, and so she kind of has to pick up the pieces, and she still has a whole wedding season to get through, because I'm pretty sure her wedding is supposed to be like at the beginning of spring, and so pretty much spring and summer, those are the best times. Usually the majority of people get married, and so there were tons of weddings that she had lined up to go to with her fiance, and so she's trying to find herself, to build herself back up, to just figure out what she wants in life. And I really love this story. Love the friendships, the relationships with her family, loved the romance. I just loved the female lead also. So it was just really great, really fun. It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. Wow, this story was a ride. I ended up relating to it quite a bit on some talking points, and so I think that's why this ended up being 5 stars. Definitely quite a few trigger warnings that you should definitely look into. Don't be like me and be totally unsuspecting and taking people's word for it when they just say this is a really sad book, it made me cry. You definitely need to look into it, and this is a story that deals with abuse, so be sure that you check those warnings out. Please do. But I do have a reading vlog for this one also that you can check out to see my full reactions to everything, and if you just don't want to read it but you want to know kind of what happens, there you go. That is everything that I have read so far this year. This is pretty much close to 50 books, so great. Love that for me. I am really happy that I was able to read all of these books. Hopefully the second half of the year will have more standouts, more 5-star and 4-star reads than the lower ratings, and I will definitely be trying to get through my physical TBR more this year than I have been in the first half. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe, and leave some comments and all of that. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
Only having the dreams, baby. What can I do when I'm